Welcome to Launch Story. In each episode, you will get a behind-the-scenes look at a course, a program, a product launch. Here is your host, Dr. Ada Barlatt.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. Today, I'm so excited to welcome Rachel Seid to the conversation. So Rachel helps small organizations create customized digital marketing plans. And I'm really excited to have her here and to chat with her about what she's launching. So Rachel, tell us, what are you launching?
Hi.
Hi.
So I work for myself. I'm a digital marketing consultant, but
Yes.
I am launching or have just launched on behalf of a client, a summer camp virtual program that is running all through July for kids who, of course, can't go to our actual camp facility this summer. So yeah, we are really excited. So far we've gotten great feedback, great responses. Kids are like really into it. Parents are really grateful.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's been going well so far.
That's amazing. And I think it's so timely. So we're filming this early July 2020, and we're both in North America. So there is a global pandemic going on really still. So for your client, that means, regular camp isn't happening. How did you make the decision to go virtual? Like, how do you make that decision?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So it was obviously huge decision, a huge impact. Ultimately, it came back down to our board of directors. This camp is a nonprofit. So the board voted that this was the safest option. Of course, like the whole point of camp is obviously that it's fun and obviously that it helps kids have something to do when they're not in school. But most importantly, camp is safe. It has to be. And also the part that really got to me is that what is camp without like sleeping together in the same bunk and holding hands and being at the campfire and like all the things that are just so unsafe right now.
Yeah, no touching, no closeness, social distance. Yeah,
exactly. So it was just, it made sense. We all agreed that it was the right choice, but it was still extremely, extremely sad. And the kids were just, there's so many stories about like these kids that are just looking forward to this for years and years. They're going into their last summer as campers, they're 16, it's a really big deal. So stories like that were really like, they're such a bummer, but in the end, obviously everyone's safety is most important. And also it turns out they're actually still having a lot of fun.
Well, that's great. I know that before we started recording, you were telling me a bit about this program and I'm so excited about it. Tell us a little bit about the tech, because as you gave us a little bit of an example, when it comes to camp, there's lots of in-person actions, not very much technology at camp, although it's been many years since I've been to camp. What does a virtual online camp look like? Like, how does it work?
Also a great question. So what's really been interesting about this time period is that everyone's reinventing the wheel. So the way that the way that my client is doing it is not the way that every camp is doing it. I've seen some like really cool technology solutions that are almost like self-sustained communities where you like log into a system and they have like all the video recordings and you can log in live and you can use like a separate kind of technology. We decided to just go with what we had already been using and what we knew would work, which was just Zoom, basically. And also having we have all of the stuff, the information's on our website, and then we've been using our email marketing platform to tell people what's going on. And then internally, we've been using a lot of Google Sheets to organize everything.
So there's a lot of organization in camp in general, where the counselors go, what groups of children. So is it a very similar structure that there are smaller groups with counselors, or is it like everyone's in one big group across all age ranges now? Like how did you do it?
We have a whole variety, which is awesome.
Really?
And also I have to say that my caveat here is that my role has specifically been in the communications part and not really in the programming. I can speak to that just because I'm helping to communicate it, but this was like the genius of the camp people that I work with. I'm like a camp spirit. Like I loved it there, but in reality, my expertise is in like how to like explain to everyone where everything is and how they log in.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, so real camp typically has kids in bunks, but then there's a bunch of bunks that make up an age group, and then obviously all the age groups together is all camp.
Right.
So we've decided to not use the bunk model, but instead we have all age groups and then all camp together. And what's unique about this summer actually is that the all camp activities are open to the entire organization, all alumni, donors, stakeholders. Everyone's able to like log in on Friday at 5 to do like our closing out the week ceremony. And that's totally unique. In every other year, there's, like you said, there's no technology by design. So we don't have any opportunity for, maybe there's like 6 alumni who can come stay at the camp for the weekend and they get to see what it's like, but we're getting hundreds of people logging in to see what we're up to. Yeah, it's been really cool. So it's been a really interesting re-engagement strategy to get like, all these alumni and potential donors in the door, so to speak.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about this specifically from your expertise and my love, which is, like email marketing and email automation and how to use that to really promote what you're doing. How did that work? Like, who made the decision to include the alumni specifically to the point you just made? And then after you answer that question, how did it work in general? I'm sure there was a lot of messaging going out when camp was canceled and you were transitioning.
Yeah, it's been a wild time. I've actually learned from this whole experience that the data, my client has we have a lot of work to do in cleaning out the email data and updating it and making sure that it's accurate and synced and into our database and like all of those things that are connected. It's more than just sending a really, a well explained and also well executed email. There's also like this whole separate step of cleaning the data and making sure it's reliable.
Oh my gosh, big deal. Yes.
Yeah. So what's interesting too is that typically, so we've decided, I don't know if this is too in the weeds, so we might end up going there, but
it's okay. Let's do it.
So we use Constant Contact as our email marketing platform.
Okay.
And then we use a tool, which is a database / email marketing platform. Well, not email marketing, but email communication platform called CampMinder. And that's like the camp database.
Sure.
What's, again, unique about this organization is they're a nonprofit. So there's also like a whole donor database that's separate. And everyone who graduates, let's call it, they become an alumni of the camp, they then get put into the donor database. So there's like 2 different tools here that we're using.
Okay.
But we've not, and in a typical summer, all of this is run through CampMinder, the camp database.
Right.
But this summer, the bets are all off. I mean, it doesn't work that way because the camp database, there's all these nuances involved with the camp database, but we've not been able to use it to explain about our virtual programming. Partially because we want to open the virtual programming up to people who weren't just in the camp database. Like, for example, we have a day camp and an overnight camp.
Okay.
The day camp has been getting all of these new families not connected at all to the organization. They're coming in from different, from schools or from other synagogues. Like, they're getting referrals from friends, and now they might become campers in the future. So it's actually been a recruitment tool for some of our audience. It's really wild. So yeah, we've decided to use Constant Contact ultimately because Constant Contact works like a normal email marketing platform. You can make the emails pretty, you can add colors and images and designs and all of those nice things. And of course, automations, which I will admit I've been underutilizing. But that's partially because of the nature of this work. I also started working with this client in March. So a week later.
The timing.
A week later, we're like, okay, you're going to work from home now and you have no information. It's wild.
Oh my goodness.
So in some ways, we've sort of just been pushing forward because we want to make sure that we are, the springtime for a summer camp is really important for getting the work done. And then the summer periods are obviously important for executing. So I've sort of just been putting one foot in front of the other. The automations, I set up one welcome automation, pretty basic. Yeah, but I don't have anything, I don't really have anything else further than that. But we've been like designing emails 1 week at a time that sends all of the information about upcoming Zoom meetings and who's invited and how it works and where to find the Zoom link, because obviously everything has to be safe again. So there's all these extra Zoom links and passwords, and everything is very intense.
Yes.
There's a lot of logistics involved.
I can imagine. I feel like, so I don't personally use ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact rather. I do use ActiveCampaign. It's my favorite platform. So I can't speak so much to Constant Contact, but I know that in ActiveCampaign you can create different segments and different lists. Or is that what you're using to send out your messages? How are you segmenting the age groups, or the different groups of individuals to get the message out?
I had not even thought of that until right now, that I should have segmented the age groups. That is such a good idea. But because the back end of our Constant Contact is, first of all, another person organized it, because like I said, I started working here in March. So I just like inherited all of this. So I was just trying to get going. What I just learned in Constant Contact is that you're able to tag individuals. But previously, then separately, there are like email lists.
Yes.
So the person who like set up this Constant Contact account added all different lists. So no one is tagged. Everyone is in like 2013 families, 2013 staff. Yeah. So a project that I just started like 2 weeks ago is that I need to like combine all the lists, tag all the individuals, and try to set this up.
Yeah,
so that would be.
I'm sorry, please go ahead.
No, just so, because I want to be able to use the tag. What I learned is that when you have individuals tagged, that means I can send an email to everyone on my email list, separating out, like excluding people with this tag, which is what I want to be able to do. So intuitively, I assumed that Constant Contact would allow me to send to everyone on every list except the people on this list. But it doesn't work that way, because that individual might be on 8 other lists.
Right.
So it's just not, it's just not as clean. Yeah, it's a big headache. I'm not really sure how. It's actually such an overwhelming project that I really don't know where to start. Like, it's one thing to clean the email data, but I'm concerned about the donor data and having it sync. I want it all to sync, obviously, but I don't know how to set that up. So I'm sort of working with this whole team to figure it out.
Right. Well, that's something that you and I can chat about. I think there are lots of opportunities, outside of, what am I trying to say? So to figure out how to streamline this list and organize them into tags, and then upload everybody in the right way to your database. It is a huge task, but it's so important, because once you have the right tags, you can, like, the sky is the limit, right? You can send emails to people that have tags or people that don't have tags, and you can combine different, like if they have this tag but not that tag, and it gives you a lot of additional flexibility. One of the other things, as you're chatting, that I'm like, oh, what kind of features in email marketing that I'm aware of that might be helpful to you? This exists in ActiveCampaign. I'm not sure about Constant Contact, but they have this cool thing called message variables. So let's say you had a room, like a Zoom room that's for the 3rd graders. Or not, are they 3rd graders? Does that even make sense? But you can set a variable that's like, Zoom room number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the 3rd grade room, and you can assign that to a variable, and then in any email that you write, you could write 3rd grade room, and it will just plop in whatever that information is. So
like a merge tag.
Like a merge tag, but not specific to a subscriber, but like specific to your account, which is really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, I really
that's
love
a good idea.
I love using them in my campaigns. I have one for my signature. I have one for different opt-ins that I have, different URLs that I use often, because then when I need to change it, I only need to change it in one place, and I know that it's right moving forward. So something like an ActiveCampaign calls them message variables, but I'm not sure if Constant Contact has them or what you could call them. But I commend you. The most important thing, and I say so many times, that like, your data, the data goes in, definitely impacts heavily the data coming out. And once you have good data going in and out, then you can make really cool decisions about, you know, who you want to reach out to, who are some of these families. You probably want us to think about tagging some of these new families that are learning about you, or I know that MailChimp calls them merge tags, maybe Constant Contact calls them merge tags. ActiveCampaign calls them custom fields, and you might want to keep track of who's referring you to know where people came from. And you can use all that fancy information later on to send different types of campaigns and different types of automations and all that kind of stuff. So
there's so much.
There is so
many
much.
opportunities.
There's so much. But the awesome thing is that at its basis, you've got it. Like, you have an audience, a huge audience. You're offering amazing value. People love what you're doing. And you've been able to adjust in the world that we're living in, which is so cool. So that's amazing. I'm sure there are hundreds of families that are very grateful that camp is still on in one way or another. And then now the next step is like getting on top of your data, which is huge. You need to do that. And then beyond that, you can start looking to automate, right? Then you won't have to worry about sending out these messages, you know, manually every day. You can have the software program do it for you.
I would love that. Gosh, what a dream. Do you remember the days when we could plan in advance? Like, that's just what I keep thinking about. It's like, remember how nice it was?
That's true.
Plan in advance.
That's true. That's true. The world is changing super fast. And automations always can be changed, and campaigns can always be changed as well. But it is fun to see how the organization that you're working with has adapted, and how email marketing and this idea of launching something via email has been such an important part of it. I think the other really great part of the story that you're telling me is, or your experience as you've had it, is like, sometimes launches are these like beautifully planned out things, like you mentioned, right? Like, oh, I sit back for a year and I plan out this product launch or this service launch and I watch it go. But sometimes, like, the world turns upside down and you need to get stuff out quickly. And you can still rely on your email marketing tools to help you get that process moving. It might not be as beautiful and slick and smooth, but you can get it out there and really help people. I think that's the important part. Like, who was I chatting with the other day? Like, nobody is just like, oh, yay, email for the sake of email, right? Email is like the process of getting from one point to another. It's not like, I just love sitting in my inbox for fun.
Oh, yeah.
So it's cool that you can use this tool to help people, even if it's long, you know, well planned out in advance, or if it's like amazingly pivoting for the where we are right now. Cool. So do you have any thoughts on where the organization will go with their camps? Do you think they'll stay virtual? Do you think they'll have some sort of hybrid in the future, or is it just way too early to know?
I think it's definitely too early to know for sure, but what I'm learning is that, like, there is a lot more interest. I think this is what's been happening actually across the board, like across industries. People are finding that, like, to take out the barrier of having to, like, go somewhere to experience something, actually we're able to still reach quite a number of people. And I do think that this time period, like, previously, if you had thought of like a virtual gala or something, like, I think that people everywhere would have been like, that's a terrible idea. But I think that this experience has sort of like warmed people to the fact that, like, you can still have a really awesome, really like enriching experience, even if it's over Zoom. It's obviously not the same, but it's like still, it can still be impactful. So I do think that this organization will have some more virtual options, like, throughout the year, or even, I mean, I can think of like ways that we could engage people virtually, like at camp, in a way that's still authentic and has the kids not really like fully interacting with technology, but maybe also is like a creative outlet where kids are learning videography or something. I'm not sure. Just really rolling that. But yeah, I mean, there's so many ways that was already being done before. Like, kids like took like photography at camp, but now I just think there's like new elements of it for ways that the organization overall can reach their stakeholders and show their worth and their value in this new, like, virtual way.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
It is very cool. It is very cool. And I know that we've spoken a lot about this virtual camp experience, but you work with lots of different organizations. Tell everyone how they can learn more about you and your work.
Yeah. So the best way to find me is on Instagram.
Okay.
My handle is PrincessRachL, but I spell it RACHL. Princess
Okay.
Rachel. Yeah, it's
Okay.
great. I have a lot of fun, uplifting, inspiring thoughts on there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to follow you on Instagram. I'll do that when we stop recording. And this has been so fun, Rachel. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to be notified for the next episode. If you know someone that would benefit from this episode, please share. If you are ready to improve your lunch results, visit Dr. Ada's website at www.operationsallied.com. All of the links mentioned in the episode are in the description below. Have a great day.